So, good morning, everyone. Today it's gonna be a kind of a little bit of everything, but at a little bit slower pace, because I want to explore. I realize I look like I have a lampshade on my head. Um, I want to explore just that kind of slowing down awareness that sometimes if we're doing anything too quickly, we can bypass some really important information. So go ahead and have a seat on your mat. I'm just going to adjust the computer slightly so I make sure I have enough pop there. And just find a nice, comfortable seat. And I wanted to read a little something. I have most of my good reading material back at the other home, but I wanted to read something that I saw. And it says it's by Nick Askew, and it says beyond the endless game of fixing what is seemingly broken, there exists a profound experience of knowing that there is no one to fix, that we are enough as we are, and that we belong without condition. So I really like that one, right? Because we always seem to be trying to fix something about ourselves. And I wonder at what point, that kind of mindset stops so that we can love ourselves and take care of ourselves without the energy of thinking we have to fix something. So, with that, sit well. Maybe move the flesh out from the sit bones. Make sure the way that you are sitting is comfortable for you. Bring the shoulders up to the ears and roll them back and down. Good. Take them up again and back, down. Good. One more. Take them up and back and down. And then let the hands settle where they're most comfortable and start to spiral your spine. And so I'm just doing like little circles with my torso around through the belly and through the ribs. And sometimes I think about kind of unwinding the tension in the spine. So just bring it all the way up to the shoulders and then maybe find a settled spot. Turn the head to one side and center, turn it to the other side. Good. Center, go back to the first side. Be very gentle here, a little bit of neck work. And center, go back. And center, maybe take one ear to one shoulder. Let the opposite hand come down toward your mat. Soften your jaw. I always think about that, right? As soon as I feel my teeth starting to clench or the jaw get tight, just soften. And then tuck the chin down toward the chest. Let your hand come back to your lap and go to the other side. Bringing your ear to your shoulder, let the opposite hand spread out. And then down toward the chest, let the hand come back to your lap, take the head up, and then use both hands and just kind of grab, this upper trapezius muscle, the upper back muscle on both sides, and just give it a little bit of massage, and then work up the neck and then back to the shoulders, maybe scrunch, right? They get so tight. Good. Just one more. Go up the neck, back to the shoulders, and release. Inhale the arms up, cross the elbows, come to eagle arms. Just remember which one is on top and which one's at the bottom, since I didn't say to do one or the other. And then release, take it up, switch, cross elbows, come to eagle arms, stretching out the back. Good. One more, both sides. Take it up, crisscross those elbows, come into your version of eagle arms. Maybe move the elbows this time side to side. and stretch. Release, last one, crisscross and eagle arms. Woo, good, go side to side. And breathe, everybody. And release, take them up. Exhale, left hand down to your mat, right arm reaches up, and then feel that stretch from the hip to the fingertips. Use your breath, soften the shoulder that's closer to the floor, and then reach over your knee and imagine you're pulling something back. Pull, bend the elbow, look back, and reach over your knee. Good, reach up and pull, bend the elbow, stretch through your chest. One more. Big deep breath, everybody. Stretch. Oh. And then reach that hand over your knee and walk your hands back to the center. Open up the shoulders. Find your breath. Watch your low backs. I know some of you are not sitting cross-legged, so this might be a little trickier. Right? Just be mindful. Some of you can come on down, maybe forehead to the floor. Most of us will be somewhere in the middle of this. And slide up, bring the shoulders up to the ears, roll them back, good. Let's do the other side. Inhale, both arms up. Take the right hand down, stretch the left arm over. Big deep breath, everyone. Right, the breath is so important. Brings us energy, releases stress. There's just no reason not to take a nice deep breath. And then reach over the knee 3 times. We're gonna pull it back, open up the chest, look back, and then reach over. Good, reach and pull. And over. One more big reach and pull. Stretching, little baby twist. And then take that hand down to the floor, walk those hands forward to center. Open up the shoulders, maybe come down toward the floor, maybe not. Maybe you're almost all the way up. Be mindful. And then curl it up, hands stay in contact. And open up the shoulders. Woo, good. Straighten out the legs. Let's just give those legs and knees a little bit of a break. And curl your ankles. And curl them the other way. And then flex, big strong flex, everybody. And point. Ooh, good. And then bring the legs back together. If you tend to actually, we're not going to crisscross. Take the legs up, take the knees up, the feet are wide. And then lean back a little bit and start to windshield wiper. But I want you to go slow. So when the knees fall to one side, and they might not come all the way to the floor, just feel what's happening in this part of our bodies, right? The waist, the hip, all that stuff. And take it to the other side and just go, where is it on this side? What's happening? And switch. Good. Breathe, switch. And switch. Good. I want you to just feel maybe this back hip starts to press forward a little bit, right? As we start to stretch through the belly and switch one more. And then feel that again, right? Maybe a little bit of a twist, maybe a little bit more hip forward movement. And bring it center. Take the feet together, Baddha Konasana, slow warm up, everyone. Ooh, it's gonna have to pick up speed a little bit now that I've taken off my long sleeve. We're getting a little chilly. Breathe. Bring the knees together. Hug them in. Wrap your arms around. Curl in. Just tuck and curl. And release. And then I want you to pull back, right? So the arms are keeping you from going very far, but I'm trying to pull those arms back toward my body, resisting with the legs so that the back body gets a little bit of work. And then curl down. Good. One more. Pull back. Really pull hard here. Just see if you can stretch, work through that back body a little. And release it. Whew, good job. Shake out the legs. And then let's come right to table pose. So coming to table pose, walk your hands forward and stretch your chest back and just pause here. So some of you might need a block under the forehead, right? Just to support that, but try to keep the neck somewhat in alignment. I can rest my forehead on the mat, on the floor, but that might not work for you. And then just turn kind of the hips and the feet to one side to stretch out that side of the body. And then let your feet go toward the other edge of your mat so that you're stretching more into the other side. Come to center, press into your hands, come back to table pose, and curl up into a nice cat pose. Hold right here. Just really tuck chin to chest, tailbone points down, stretching, and then press the hips back toward the heels a little bit. Watch the knees so you're still curled up. And then curl back to center and release into a nice cow pose. Big deep breath, press back toward the heels. Keep the cow pose position. So you're looking up and come back to center, neutral spine, downward facing dog already. Once you're in down dog, let's pedal out the feet. And breathe. Good. Maybe come up on the tippy toes and press the heels down a little closer. Watch the backs of the knees and tippy toes. And maybe lower the heels again. Watch that upper body. And then lower both knees to the floor. If you need some cushion under those knees, this would be the time for that. And step forward with your right leg. Grab your blocks. So we're just doing a simple lunge here, starting out with a little bit of a deeper stretch, maybe along that left thigh. The shoulders are lifted. In fact, maybe you take your blocks and take them all the way up to the highest level so that the upper chest, upper body is sitting pretty tall, right? And the left leg is stretching, getting a nice little stretch. On your exhale, straighten the front leg, bring both hips back, flex your right foot, and draw both hips back kind of equally at the same time. Breathe. And bring it forward, stretch. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Try to keep the torso from rounding. One more. Bend the knee. Whew. Should start to feel like it's opening up. And bend. Breathe. Bend that knee, flatten those blocks out, lift the left knee, hold it right here, tone in through the belly, hands to knee, lift the chest. Find that. Squeeze the inner thighs, inner upper thighs toward each other. Watch that front knee. Inhale, take the arms up. Every time I do that, I'll have to tell you after class, every time I do that, I picture, in particular, one of my loves out there. Whose knee always goes toward the middle. Breathe, reach, feel this nice stretch through the left leg, hopefully. Exhale, hands slowly come to the floor. Maybe downward facing dog. Maybe you just switch legs and bring that left foot forward. If you're in down dog, lower the knees. Step forward with the left foot. Bring the blocks back up to that nice high level, right? So that we've got some room to move. Maybe the chest opens up a little bit. Spread out your front toes. Breathe. Where do you feel this stretch? You know, I always say don't overstretch, right? So if you feel like you're just dumping down to the floor, maybe take it up a little bit. Breathe. And then as you're ready, the front, excuse me, the front leg straightens, the foot flexes, start to stretch out the hamstrings, and then stretch, bend the knee, come forward. Exhale, straighten the front leg, flex your foot. One more, breathe. And straighten. That's it. And then bend that knee, flatten your blocks, lift your right knee, engage your inner thighs, take those arms up, find a nice high lunge, and breathe. That's it. Good, listen up. You're gonna take your hands to your blocks, but then you're gonna walk both blocks to the center as you come sideways on your mat to a wide leg forward fold. Pause here. Feel the back of the legs, the hips, maybe the torso getting really long. Big deep breath. Press your hands into your blocks. Turn the toes out a little bit. Now, your blocks can be up a little higher if that makes sense for you. Your hands can be on the floor if you'd rather not use your blocks. I just want you to bend one knee and stretch the other. So as this, if I'm mirroring, if my right knee is bent, I'm stretching through the inner left thigh. So that's what I'm kind of looking for here. And then go to the other side. Pause. Like, don't just go side to side to side, right? What do you feel when you stretch? What happens if you turn the foot a little bit, right? Is there a difference if you draw the hips back in space a little bit as opposed to coming forward? Where's it change for you? Good. And then switch and breathe. Good. One more, both sides. Switch. Maybe the blocks are not necessary here. Depends on you. And switch. Woo. And then come to center. Shorten your pose a little bit. Bend the knees. Take your hands to your knees. And come on up. Woo. Good. Rock it out. Toes go out to the sides a little bit. Just a little bit of goddess pose, squat. So take the arms up. Exhale, come on down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, squat. Inhale, lift. When I lift, I'm squeezing my little butt, right? Exhale, come on down. When I come down, I'm drawing in through the low belly. Little bit of Mula Bandha, right? A little bit of pelvic floor work. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale it down. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Where's those knees landing? Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more. Take it up. Exhale down. And then big hinge of the hips. Hands come back to the floor. The legs straighten, and you're going to walk back to the front of your mat. So you're back in a lunge. For you, it's probably right foot forward. Maybe it's left foot forward like I am. Squeeze in through your thighs. Woo, and take it up. Big deep breath, everybody. That's it. Hands to the floor. Listen up. We're doing a little walking today. You're coming wide, and then you're turning your whole body to the other end of your mat. Make sure your pose is wide enough. Now your other foot is in front, the belly tones, hands to knee. Lift up into a nice tall lunge. Big deep breath. Woo. Exhale, hands down, slow. Walk at center. I love moving around on my mat, as you may have noticed from last class and today. Good, you're back to the left foot forward. Grab your blocks this time. Hands are to your blocks. Squeeze the inner thighs. Take the pose up. Nice, easy lunge. You can always have knees down, by the way. If knees are down, I don't know that I would travel, but maybe switch sides each time. You decide for you. Breathe. Hands down to the block, right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Press through the back heel, the back leg's heel, and then circle the left arm 3 times really big. 1 and 2 and 3. And then take the arm up and feel the center of your chest turn in order to make this twist. Breathe. Hands down, listen up. You're going to start to turn, but take your blocks to the center. I know. Breathe. And then walk these blocks to the other end of your mat. Now you've got right leg forward, I think, if you're on the same side as me. Engage through those inner thighs. Take it up. Find your breath. Everybody's got this. We're almost done with this warm up. Exhale, hands float down to your blocks. Left hand stays down, right arm goes up. So, right, when we move into our twist, it's not from the shoulder, it's from the center of your chest, the center of your ribs. Breathe. Deep breath. Exhale, hands come down to your blocks. Listen up, we got one more transition. Take the block center, pause, nice forward fold. Legs are starting to really open up. And then walk these blocks back to the left side. We're almost done, I promise. So if you're not loving all this moving stuff, we're almost done with this part. So hands are to your blocks. Let's first come into a twist. I realize I didn't stretch out that other arm. We'll do that on the other side. Breathe, feel the chest open up. Feel the integrity of the shoulder joint, right? Because it's lining up instead of squeezing back. It's not about that. It's not about where you open up there. Good. Hands come back to your blocks. Maybe you take those blocks up at second or third level and straighten the front leg. Big deep breath. We're going to be here for a little bit. So find what feels comfortable. For some, the blocks are closer in, right? More around the ankle. For others, the blocks are a little bit more forward. For some, the blocks are up nice and high to give those hamstrings a chance to open up. Where is it for you? Torso is long, right? See if you can find the middle of the sit bone, the middle space of the sit bone, so that you're not leaning out to one side or leaning into one side, but coming straight through the middle of that hamstring. Bend the front knee. Grab a hold of your blocks. Walk yourself center. First find that. And then walk the rest of the way so that your right foot is forward. Whew. Breathe. First things first is our twist, right? So we draw it up through the center of the chest. We reach up through that arm. We find the pose. Big deep breath, everybody. That's it. On the exhale, those hands come down. Maybe the blocks come up a little bit higher. The front leg straightens. I didn't mention it on the other side, but your back heel is really up to you, right? This is a long pyramid pose. I've dropped my heel toward the center so that my foot is more flat. For others, you might want to keep it more in a heel lift position, foot straight. Lengthen through your pose, feel it, soften, open up the shoulders, find the middle of the sit bone, breathe. Deep breath, everybody. Bend your front leg, bend your front knee, and we're going to stretch out the shoulder before I forget. So your right hand reaches up and give me 3 big circles right here. We got to be even on both sides, right? And take it up and exhale it down. Nice job, everyone. Just set your blocks off to the side, plant your hands, and come to downward facing dog. Spread out through the fingers. Breathe. Lower your knees to the floor and come to child's pose or hero pose. And breathe. And kind of notice, right? Notice how you're feeling, how your body felt moving through that flow. Was it easy for you? Was it challenging? Was it too fast, right? Where is it for you? And you've heard me say a million times, I care way more about alignment than speed. So if you have to ever slow it down, we slow it down, right? There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to make better. We explore and we see what our bodies need in the moment. Amen, right? All right. So wherever you are, child's pose or hero pose, you're going to come back to table pose. Flip your toes under, open up, and come to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet. Find your breath. Bend the knees nice and deep, and then feel the chest draw toward those upper thighs. Tone in through the belly, fire up the arms, hang on to that beach ball right between the elbows, and then straighten the legs. Downward facing dog. How does it feel to hold down dog? Good. Soften the left knee and take that leg up to the sky. This is optional, by the way, and you can come on down child's pose. Breathe. And notice, right? Level the hips and then maybe open up the hips, right? So the hips are uneven, but we deepen the stretch through the front hip. Breathe. Level the hips, bend the knee, step forward. Oh, yeah, that's a big step. That's a big old step, right? From that position. A lot of times we use momentum in yoga. I don't love it, right? Because we miss some things, but it's okay. It's okay every once in a while. All right, you're back in a lunge, my darlings. Take the arms up. Find your breath. Notice your pose. Soften the fingers and curl your wrists. Ooh, maybe take the arms out to the sides. Take them down. Keep curling your wrists. Take them forward. Bring them all the way up. Spread the fingers, exhale down, right hand stays down, left arm reaches up. Feel the integrity of that shoulder and breathe. Exhale, hands come down, front leg straightens. Maybe this time you flex the front foot. How does that change anything? Breathe. Bend your front, set the blocks aside, down dog, everyone. Take your time, explore, explore, explore. Breathe. When you're ready, the right leg goes up. Maybe at first the hips are even. Maybe you're not doing this at all. This is a lot for the upper body. Maybe you open up that hip and lift the leg as high as you want. Breathe. And step through. Right leg forward. Hands to your blocks. Spread out your toes. Find your lunge. Let's take those arms up if we can. Knee can be down, by the way. Squeeze your fists and then open the fingers. Take the arms out to the side, squeeze your fists and open. Take them down and behind, squeeze into fists and open, and then take them all the way up. Exhale, hands come down to the floor. Take the right arm up, find that beautiful twist. Big deep breath, everyone. Exhale, hands to the floor. Straighten the front leg. Maybe flex the front foot and breathe. And notice. Bend the front knee. Step back to down dog. Lower both knees to the floor. Child's pose or hero pose. Find your breath. Just breathe. How is the pose here, right? What are you thinking about other than your hero pose or your child's pose? Where is it in your body? What is going on in your mind? Can you come back to your breath? Good. Wherever you are, come back to a seat. Come back to a seat. So your feet are toward the front of your mat, and we're going to windshield wiper again, but we're going to add on to this. So just do your best, right? And check out how your body's feeling in the process. So again, the hands are leaning back and just windshield wiper to one side, pause, and then windshield wiper to the other. You can go wide, you can go more narrow. So much depends, right, on internal, external rotation of the hip joints, right? This is where we're playing. As I turn the knees one way, one hip is internally rotated, one hip is externally rotated. And I find that fascinating, right? So we can check out what's happening from one side to the other side. So the next time your knees, we'll try to all do this on the same side. So the next time your knees are pointing toward the right, adjust the legs as you need to. You're going to take this left hand and bring it all the way across so that your left hand and your right hand are at the front edge of your mat. Now, if this is too much, maybe you stay more angled, right? More angled here. Too much being, you may feel a stretch here, so as deep belly, but you don't want any kind of like pulling, tugging, or pain. So we're bringing a twist into this. We're trying to see where is the opening here. So in yoga, in life, right, in the gym, we work core, work our bellies, work our abs, but we don't do a ton of stretching of the same area. And I think it's worth exploring. So where is it for you? What do you need to make this better or less or whatever, right? Do you put your hands on a block and what does that do to change it? I'm resisting you lowering down yet. We'll get there, I promise. But right now, I just want you to feel what happens when you drop the hip and then bring it forward again, right? And drop and bring forward. So the goal isn't to pull forward as much as possible. It's to explore that relationship of the pelvis and the back and the twist and where is it in your body. And then once you've kind of played there a little bit, if you can, come on down to elbows. So I'm leaning over. If my knees are to the right, I'm leaning over this right front thigh. And I'm down on elbows and I go, oh, that changes the stretch a little bit. That's kind of interesting. What happens if I pull the elbows further forward? What happens if I bring one leg back a little bit? And then breathe. Because we get these tightnesses in the body and we don't even know sometimes that they're there. And I often don't know how tight my abdominal muscles are until I come into this kind of a stretch. Some of you are fine. You're going to come on down to your belly. That's going to change your stretch again. It might make it less, it might make it more. You might have to adjust the back knee if you notice, right? If you bring that knee closer up, it softens the stretch. If you bring the knee back, it'll deepen for most of us, the stretch, not always. Can I find the stretch? And not even the stretch, but the opening, or even better than opening, the softening of this move. All right, wherever you are, you come out the way you came in. So I'm down on my, down with my head down. So I'm going to come to my elbows first. And then I'm going to come up to my hands and pause again. And then I'm going to take the left hand and open it up and bring the knees up. I want you to pause in the center, bring those legs together, wrap your arms around and tuck in. Just tuck in, maybe let that back round even more. And then pull up, resist, arms and legs, get super tall. And release. All right, so we're going to the other side. Take your feet wide, lean back a little, check out that one side, the right side we just did. Go to the left, back to the right. This time to the left, hold. My knee's going to be off mat, so I'm just going to cushion it with my blanket, which I didn't say before. I don't really like having my back to you guys. So same thing, right? We're going to draw the hip forward and back. And we're just going to check it out. How does it feel here? What happens if I press into the knees a little bit more? I love the exploratory aspect of yoga. When I do this, it feels like this, right? What is it for you? Because I can only share my experience with you. You have to tap in to how it feels for you. Good. And then maybe you twist and hold, and maybe the hands are kind of diagonal, right? On this side, I can tell already it's tighter. So maybe I'm more diagonal this time instead. Maybe I can walk the right hand to the front of the mat and the left hand. So again, little deeper twist. What does that feel like? Can I rock that hip again? Can I go, oh yeah. So when I'm this kind of twisted, I can feel that. And breathe. And then maybe with the hands on the mat, you just pause for a moment. Maybe you adjust the legs a little bit. If you feel good and you want to go lower, just go to elbows, right? The temptation to drop all the way down to your chest. We're going to bypass that temptation and we're going to pause here in the middle space. Take a deep breath, everybody. What happens when we move the knees? Is it better? Is it worse, right? Go too far back, maybe it's a little too much on the SI joint. In that case, the knees would come closer together. Where is it? One, you're here. Two, you're coming up higher. Three, come on down. Rest your head on your arms. Feel that. So often I gauge the depth of the pose by the depth of my breath. So if we think about that for a moment, right? If I'm so deep into a pose that my breath is shortened, which means my body is not comfortable, then I'm probably too deep, right? I'm not serving the purpose of yoga with my body. So I would come up. Breathe. Soften. All right, wherever you are, transition out softly. So I'm back to elbows and then back to hands. And then that right hand reaches up, takes me back to center. I center on the mat. Bring those legs together. Curl into a nice ball here. If you want to play with balance, take the feet off the floor. And then feet back to the floor, pull into the legs and lift the chest. And release both legs straight, both legs straight. Kind of notice, how did that feel in your body? So again, we're going to play just a little bit here. I want you to just take, I'll mirror here, just take your right leg and bend it, no hands, and take it out to the side. And then bring the knee back up and straighten. Go to the other side, bend your left leg, open it out to the side, Janu position, right? Knee up and straight. Let's go back to the first side. Breathe and out, up and down. Last one, take it up and open and up and straighten. Now sit really tall, lift the first leg, the right leg, bend it, but don't drop the heel if you can. Take it out to the side, right? So now we're not using the floor, so we have to work with that external rotation. Take it back to center, stretch it out, lift up tall. Lift your left leg, bend, turn, just turn that knee out to the side, external rotation, whoo, working the hip, no kidding. And forward, straight out, lift up tall. Bend both knees, squeeze them in, take yourself to Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together, maybe lift up the hips and draw the sit bones back a little bit. Woo, my toesies are getting cold. I better put my shirt back on. When we're moving, I'm fine. When we're sitting, you're getting a little chilly in here. Last I looked, it was like 66 degrees in the house. Oh, let's keep our little bodies warm. All right, so you're here. If you're in Baddha Konasana, remember, right, blocks under knees can often be a really great thing. Especially if the knees are up high here, because then you're really keeping this whole hip flexor area tight. But while you're here, I want you to take your little thumbs and work with the bottoms of your feet, right? And even the tops, right? Your whole hands massaging and working with the bottoms of the feet, because how often do we do that? Right? I would pay good money for a foot massage. But we can do that ourselves and find some of those tender spots, some of the places in our feet that mirror places in the body. Maybe we warm up the toes, maybe we spread them, maybe we press and open them and stretch the soles of the feet. Good, right? We could spend 15 minutes just working on points on the feet, but we shan't do that. Bring the knees together. Woo. Feel those inner thighs, right? No kidding. And then straighten both legs. Maybe you want your strap. I don't have my strap with me, so I won't need it today. It's over there. So bend that first leg and come back to Janu Sirsasana position. Again, a block under your knee. I mean, it's always a nice thing, especially if your hips are designed in a way that the knee doesn't settle down, that it's more here. That is not a defect. It is the way you're built. There's nothing to fix, right? Inhale, reach up. If you're using your strap, that strap is around your foot. Swan dive forward and take the hands to the floor. Now, this is another one I see a lot, this rush to go down, go forward, right? There's no rush. I'm going to hang out here until this hamstring says, okay, I'm ready for a little bit more depth, or I'm not. There is no hurry at all, because that's, there's no reason to hurry. I want the body to open up. I don't want it to rush forward. When we rush forward into stretches, a lot of times the body's protective mechanism will just lock it up. So no reason to do that. And then explore. This is a basic yoga pose. You see it all the time. But what does it mean in your body? When I draw the leg back isometrically and try to lift out of that hip crease, what changes, right? What does that feel like? I could stay here and go no deeper and feel this gorgeous stretch through the deep muscles of the back leg. So breathe. Where is your head in space? Is it leading the way? Are you kind of leading the chin? Can you draw that back so that the chest stays tall? Some of you, maybe you're going to come a little bit lower, but even my more flexible yogis out there, I invite you to instead draw the leg in and lengthen the torso, not just drop down. My less flexible, mostly in the back, right, or the tight hamstrings, try to stay long in the torso. Don't worry about how far you are. I've seen yogis way up here getting this lovely stretch. No problem. No problem, right? Nothing to fix. Breathe. Can we be patient with the process? I think that's the hard one sometimes for us. Deep breath. Wherever you are, come on up. Oh. You're going to take this knee that's bent, lift it up, put the foot on the floor. Optionally, if I'm mirroring here, your left leg would be straight or it's going to be bent. Okay. And breathe. Just sit nice and tall. And then take your right foot, the bent knee foot, and step over. Bottom leg is either bent or straight, either one. These are just simple seated twists. Depends on your knees and hips mostly. Lift up super tall. And then start to twist toward the right, realizing that we have to lift out of the low back, lift, and then twist through the ribs, the center of the chest, coming into a seated twist. Your elbow is either to the knee or the arm is wrapped around. And breathe. And feel a softness here. So right? Instead of using all of this as your pivot points, as your pull points, instead feel a softness. And again, gauge your breath. Where is the cervical spine, right? Where's your neck? What's happening with that? Are you twisting into the lower back and creating pain? Or is the lower back feeling long and stable? Come back to center. Optional, either you're staying here, we're stretching this hip, or you're going to drop the knee and come into cow face legs. Oh, yeah. If your hips are tight, you're going to feel this. So you can always do block under knees. I like that a lot. Or stay in the seated twist version and still stretch. Or other option, super easy, figure four seated. Any of those work. All right, lean back, straighten both legs. Woo! Squeeze the legs together. Give me a good Dandasana. And release. And let's go to the other side. So again, if I'm mirroring here, I've got left leg bent, right leg straight. I'm going to draw this leg back into its socket. This long leg is active, right? I'm pressing it toward the floor. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive part way. If your back starts to round, back it up. And then hands to the floor or a strap. It feels good. And even here, you know, I said hands or strap, but a lot of times for me, the hands to the floor as opposed to your strap can give you a ton of feedback, a ton of information about the body. Where are we? Are we rounded? Are we lengthened? Are we drawing back? Can I use the fingers to lengthen the chest? Right? So many things. Breathe. Kind of let go here. Just feel it. Sometimes we can wiggle. It's one of my favorite things to do because it's almost like giving the body permission. By doing so, I tell the body it's safe, it can move, it can explore. I'm not just holding a static, hard pose. While I get my hair out of my face. Breathe. Maybe you come down a little lower, maybe not. That's it. And come on up. Oh, take that bent knee, straighten it up. Just straighten it up straight. Straighten it up straight. Take the straight leg and bend it and see if that works for you, right? See if you can keep the sit bones on the floor and just pause. Sit really tall. I definitely got to move that lamp. I feel like I have a hat on. Oh, breathe. Silly, silly. All right, and then step the left leg over. Remember, bottom leg is either bent like this or it's straight out. Straight out is more gentle on the knee and will help you get more seated in this twist. And then lengthen up, lengthen through that lower back. Create as much space through those vertebrae as you can. Start to twist to your left. Either the elbow is going to go to the knee or the arm is going to wrap around the knee. See what feels good to you and come into a twist. Each inhale lengthens your pose. Each exhale softens into the twist. And breathe. Tall, tall, tall. Stay tall. Maybe move the head a little. Where's that cervical spine? And then come back to center. Either stay here with that bottom leg straight or bent, or stack the knees, relatively speaking, and come into cow face legs. Oh. And just breathe and notice. That's it. Release, lean back, undo the legs, come to Baddha Konasana, or sorry, Dandasana, staff pose, hands to your sides, big toe mounds pressing out. Slide the heels in, come to Baddha Konasana. Ooh, yeah. Breathe. And then only if you want, lean back, grab a hold of your ankles, and find a little balance challenge here. You can separate your feet, put them back together. You can hold the feet, which is easier for balance. Just don't pull on the ankles, like don't sickle the feet to make that happen. Bring the knees together, hold your little egg pose. And then release. We are coming to standing. So how you come up is up to you. Oh, yeah. Woo, feel that, right? Feel all that work, all that stretch through the fronts, shake out the legs. And we're going to come to tree pose. It's a nice little transition from everything that we have been doing. So that we again play with some external rotation and stabilizing the standing leg. So we know, right? If you're taking any of my classes, you know, this hip draws in. We find the strength here, the alignment really here. So pick your leg, I'll let you decide. You're going to peel the other heel and just turn the foot out for now. Keep the toe on the floor. And then find those hip points, the Asits bones, right? Anterior, superior, iliac spines. It's the bones you feel at the front part of those hips. And just feel those and see if you can find center. Because a lot of times when we do tree pose, the bent knee side will roll back and the standing leg side hip will roll forward. We want both hip points to point straight ahead. And then engage the glute, standing leg, tensor fascia lata. Draw it all in. And pause and see how that feels to you with hips forward. From here, take that bent knee side into your tree pose. That tree pose can be toe on the floor, foot to the shin, inside shin, above the knee, below the knee. Feel the lower back lengthen. Feel the chest rise, hands to heart. So in tree, the hips are forward, right? And the leg pushes into the foot and the foot pushes into the leg. And we find the two legs working together as I keep finding balance here. Maybe the arms go up, maybe not. Breathe. Take the hands back, draw the knees center, cross it over, hold on to it with that hand. So internal rotation, little bit of a challenge here. And release, take it out. Oh, yeah. I've been walking the neighborhood hills, which are super steep. 2 days, we've been here 2 days. I've walked them twice. And right here, ooh, baby. All right, other side. Here we are again, right? Open up, get really tall, stiff, and keep the toes on the floor, but just turn the knee out to the side. Take the hands to the hips. Here we are again. Where is the middle space? Where can you find both hip points pointing forward? And sometimes it can be hard to tell, right? Maybe you notice if that, if I were mirroring here, my right hip is forward, but what happens to the knee? The knee rolled in too, right? So that's another way to kind of feel where is it in space. Engage the leg, the hip, the glute, and then find your tree pose on this side. Does not have to be all the way up. It can be somewhere in the middle. The big thing with tree is most teachers will tell you not to put your knee, your heel of your foot on the inner knee, because if you push in there at all, you can hurt the knee. So you're above the knee or below the knee. Big deep breath, engage the glutes, hips forward, knee to the side. Maybe the arms go up. Hands come to heart. Release, bring that knee forward, bring it across, and take that arm up. Ooh, yeah. And breathe. And release and shake it out. Ooh, my legs are talking to me today. I did my hill walk this morning before class, so right there. All right, feet wide on your mat. And come on forward, everybody. Whew, just breathe. Soft knees, center of the feet, long torso. Downward facing dog. Just feel down dog. In your own practice, can you hold down dog for 30 seconds? Can you hold down dog for a minute? Plank pose, everyone. Knees up or down. Same thing. Can you hold? And we're not holding that long, but can you hold for 30 seconds? Can you hold for 1 minute? Can we find the endurance, right? The muscle work, the core work. Breathe. Lower the knees. Child's pose, everybody. From child's pose, come on to your backs. So be very gentle, roll over to your backs. And once you're on your back, bend the knees, Pause here, feet to the floor. And tuck in through the pelvis. Just tuck, really lengthen. The low back is flat on the floor. And then release and arch. Keep the hips down, but arch as much as your back will allow without any pain. And again, tuck in. Maybe even isometrically push the feet away so you're really tucked. And then drag the heels a little closer as you tilt. And then find neutral. Find neutral. Draw your right knee to your chest, hands go behind your thigh, and take the leg up. Go ahead and point your toes and flex them. Good, one more big point, big flex. And then walk your hands up a little more if you can. Straighten your left leg. Tuck your chin, lift your upper body, and maybe walk the hands up even more. May not go there, so don't force it. Lift your left leg a little bit of core. And release both knees to your chest. Right foot to the floor, left leg goes up. Point and flex. Good. Point and flex. Breathe. Walk the hands just a little higher up toward the foot. Straighten your right leg. One, stay here. Two, curl up. You're looking at that knee. The hands slide up a little bit more. Chin is tucked here, so you're not straining the neck, hopefully. Breathe. And slide down. Bend the knee, both knees to chest. Switch sides, left leg straight. Right leg lifts. Hold here. Arms go to cactus pose. Left leg lifts. Press down into that low back, everybody. Breathe. Keep the chin neutral, right? Tendency here is to lift your chin. Lift the left leg up. Lower the right leg down a few inches off the floor. Breathe. Lift that leg up. Turn the soles of the feet toward each other. Baddha Konasana. Again, you're holding the feet or the ankles. The knees are out to the side. Bring the knees together. Allow the knees to roll to one side. Open up the whole other side, chest, arm. Think about moving from the center of your chest. Breathe. And the knees up. Allow them to go to the other side. Lengthen through that whole upper back. Knee center. Feet to the floor. Listen up. Just lift your hips a couple of inches and squeeze the heck out of your butt. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So just a little reset here. Imagine you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Big deep breath. Big exhale. And lower those knees or those hips down to the floor, and let's find Shavasana finally. Maybe there's a blanket underneath your thighs or underneath your knees as you chill down into this lovely pose of surrender, right? True surrender here. Feel your breath. Allow yourself to start to sink down into the mat. Soften and let go. Soften down even more. For those of you who are ready, start to shift out of your Shavasana. Draw the knees up toward your chest. And rock side to side, allowing the knees to roll to one side or the other. And then ever so slowly, curling all the way up to your seated pose. Bring your hands to your heart, bow to your own inner goodness. And know that you are perfect just the way you are. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Thank you,
Namaste.
everybody.